All right, we're going to start off with a couple basics. If you grab a side node, it'll stretch it out in one direction, but if you hold shift, it'll do it uniform. So this will come in handy later. Another thing I wanted to go over was the snap grid. They have default is 1 millimeter, 0.5, 0.25, 0.1. Whatever you select, if you hold shift, it will it'll move it around in a multiplication of 10. So if you're using the arrows to move, it'll move in a 1 millimeter snap grid. But if you hold shift, it'll move 10 millimeter snap grid. So what I use this for a lot is whenever I'm cutting a hole on something, such as this uh, golf ball marker, and I don't know the first thing about the size of a golf ball, so I'm just going to blow it up a little bit to make it easy to work with. So I'm going to duplicate this, and I'm going to hold shift and tab over a couple of times. Sorry, move over a couple of times with the arrows. And then I am going to bring this down from a 30 to say a 28, turn it into a hole, and then I can hold shift and press the arrows to take it right back into place where it needs to go. That's why I like using the snap grid to maneuver things, because a lot of times I'll have things broken down into a lot of pieces and I can spread them out amongst the work plane just by clicking on one and moving it over here. And if I end up needing a duplicate, I can move the duplicate over here and manipulate them however I need to, and then bring it back into place and bring it back into place again over here. So get the two together. You got the hole and your object. Select both of them, group them together. That will give you your shape that we're going to work with here. You can take your text. When you have it out here, it'll bring up your text box. Type in what you're going to use here, your initials. And what I like to do is I like to stretch things like this up tall so that I can see it through the object for one. And then when I resize things, especially letters, I don't like to do it from the side because you'll notice when you do that, sometimes it'll invert it. If it does that, just let go of the mouse or let go of shift and then grab it again and it'll flip it back over. But that's why I like to grab from this top node. It just inverted the direction. So get it roughly the size you want and then where you want it. Turn it into a hole and then you can select both of them. Click align here on the top and then align it to this center direction. This center direction. And then they're both still selected, but just to make sure, we can select both of them again. Click group. And that will give you letters cut out that you're looking for. But if your initials are anything like mine and you have one of these floating shapes like this, you'll have to move something in here to connect it. And I'm not going to go crazy on showing you how to do that because it takes some just, toying with and maneuvering it around. But basically, you can drag a shape straight onto. I want to show you that real quick. You can drag a straight onto the surface anywhere, and wherever your cursor is, the box will drop to that area. You see, I'm pointed on the. Let me zoom in a little bit, and again, delete that. I'm on the back here, and it's trying to place it on the back. But if I roll around to the top, it just wherever your cursor's at, that's where it'll drop it. You can drop it there. Grab this top box here, hold shift. You can scale that down quite a bit. And then just kind of, like I said, manipulate it, get it into place. Drag it below the line there. It can get a lot dealing with the uh, shapes like this. So when you have something like this box that you're trying to work with, you can select the box and press F, and it'll shift the focus to the box. And you can grab the sides kind of manipulate it. You'll see these rotation things show up when you orientate the camera in different angles. You'll see them show up for different directions. When you're in close, once you grab this rotation arrow here, you see lighting up red. Once you grab this and you're in close, it'll do a snap to grid, 22.5, 45, you know. But if you carry your cursor out away from it, it allows you to smooth. So just kind of find somewhere that works, and see if I try to lower that down into place. My snap grid's on 1 millimeter, so it's trying to move it 1 millimeter. This is where it comes in handy to go to 0.1 or even off. I like to use 0.1. Kind of takes it down into a step. And like I said, I'm not going to go crazy with this, but you kind of get the idea. You need to connect to that. So let me just get that out of there. I'm going to ungroup this and get rid of this text. Now I'm going to show you how to do a custom font. What you're going to do is come over to fontspace.com and you're going to come down here and just type in whatever initials you're looking for. Anytime I'm working with text, I like to space out one time and then start typing what I'm looking for, because if a font has like a curl like this on it, a lot of times it'll cut that curl off if you don't add a space in the front of the first letter. So I just throw a space out there, then the first two letters, or the first letters, and find what font you want to use. I'm just going to grab something simple. I'm going to grab this one right here. Click on the font, click the three dots out here, and click download file. And this part's really easy. Just open it up and it'll have an install up here. You click install and it's done. Then you can come down and search Paint, which I already have it open. One thing I do want to note is that when you're downloading fonts, you have to close Paint in order for them to show up. So anytime you're adding new fonts, go ahead and close Paint out, add the new fonts, then reopen the program and you'll see everything there. Come up to the text, click on that and just drag a box out there. Again, hit a space out, RM, and then if you notice if it's jaggy around the edges and it looks odd, just zoom in. You'll notice that it clears it up a lot better. I don't know why the graphics since their update have just been glitchy. But you can drag this in like so. Come up to File, Save. Save it somewhere you can find it. I like to use my desktop. I'm just going to save it RM2. I think I already have an RM. Save it RM2. Then close this out. Come over to PNG to svg.com. Then you'll come down to choose a file and select that file that you chose or that you saved. Once you've selected that, be sure to come into colors and take it down to one color, because all you want is the black. And click generate. You'll see it throws up a download SVG right here. Click on that. Now once it's downloaded, don't click on it. Just come straight over to Tinkercad and you'll go to import. Once that's imported, go back to your download. And it may be different if you use Chrome or Microsoft Edge or something, but just find your download file and drag it over. And then click import. You'll see that you got your custom font that you can work with the same you could your other lettering. You can turn it to a whole and size it down to the size you want. like we did before and align it center of both axes. Group it, and then you got custom font. I hope that was the approach you were looking for. If there's anything else I can do to help you out, or if you have any questions, man, just let me know.